interesting topic, and especially
Of
not only
course.
like with, realtors in my office and realtors that I know, but just even my clients and people
Yeah.
that follow me and stuff. But
Yeah.
okay, so
Well,
go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say we could do like a Full Metal Jacket because I actually have real estate
Full Metal
conversation.
Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket. It's
This
two
one my
different.
rifle. This is my gun. This one's
Full
for
Metal
shoot. This
Jacket
one's
is
for fun.
two separate movies. Is the argument about Full Metal Jacket? And
I've
so
never
I
heard that before.
Wait,
Interesting.
wait, hold on, Joey. Tell me you've seen Full Metal Jacket.
No.
Joey,
what? Wait, what?
you need to
How's
Yeah,
end
that
I
this
should
possible?
right
I should have
now.
just said yes and
Forget
faked it.
this.
How is
I
this
should have said
possible?
yes.
No, Joey, this is my rifle. This is my
Okay.
gun. This one's
So
for
so that's
shooting.
why.
This one's for fun.
Great
He
movie.
don't get it.
Yeah, great movie. Full Metal
Okay, so
Jacket, one of the best.
I'm adding
Everywhere
it.
we
You
Oh,
know
I
what?
go.
see. Okay.
You know what movie I've really gotten to
Got
like
it.
is in terms of war movies. I like war movies, but
Yeah, same.
You
it's a
seem like a war movie guy.
wait. You like war movies and you haven't seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah,
I
what?
know. I
Well,
need to
he's
stop
young.
talking.
He's a
I
youngin.
need to stop talking.
He's a
Oh,
youngin.
I'm getting myself in trouble. Ugh.
He's like an
Yeah.
87, baby.
Well,
I'm an 81.
89.
89.
Yeah, I'm
Holy
not
okay.
that
crap.
old.
He's
So they
young as fuck.
one of my more recent favorite war movies is Hacksaw Ridge. Have you seen that one?
No, but I know who
Yes.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan is
Yeah.
from WWF, baby.
That one's great, right? The storyline of that, in terms of he just keeps praying to God that he can rescue one more. That's a good movie.
I saw
I
that
stopped
recently. Yeah,
watching
that
war movies a while ago. After Black
that
Hawk
was
Down.
good. Yeah, and it was one guy up the dang mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, he rescued 72 in real life too,
Yeah, that's
or something like
insane.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
The
good
sniper
movie.
one was good.
After
Sniper.
Oh yeah,
after
American
everything
Sniper.
he
Yeah.
did before, Yeah. Yeah, American
No, but
Sniper
come
was a
on.
really good one.
You gotta go watch Full Metal
Yeah,
Jacket,
Okay,
man.
all right. I'll
if you
make it
like
happen.
that's like you should be excommunicated.
So yeah, Chris is right. It's like two movies in one, but we won't spoil it.
Ah,
It is
I see.
recursive, and maybe it's like my background a little bit.
So
Like it
so
kind of
okay,
is.
Chris, what do you mean by we can do Full Metal Jacket on this? What do you mean
So
by that?
so I'm in the process of buying a house right now.
Oh, you
Oh,
are?
Yeah, and I had some questions about that. See what you
Oh,
guys thought.
okay.
what
Cool.
a dumbass. No, I'm
Oh.
just.
That's actually kind of one of the questions.
This is a
So
perfect real estate
Oh
pod.
my gosh.
so
Oh,
yes,
You're buying a
okay. I
house?
see.
so
Well,
yeah,
should we just start into it?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought we already
Okay,
did.
well,
I've been
let
recording.
okay, so
Full
so
Metal
we're
Jacket, you
we're,
gotta
we're going to
go.
be discussing if realtors are being extinct or going extinct right now. But Chris has a situation of he's in a real estate transaction and he's doing something. So Chris, what are you buying?
So a home in Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
Give you a little background on it. They were asking 535 for it. Um, I made an offer of 525, which they declined,
Mm,
and they said they would take 530.
Cheapskates.
So Zillow had it appraised at like 530 and some change. I think it was, to be exact, like 530 and 900, right? Which I guess is closer to 531.
okay.
But anyhow, so we agreed on 530. So
Wow.
it was inspected last Friday,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it was had some major problems.
Okay.
So the inspector said the entire HVAC system needed to be replaced. He said it's
Okay.
all functioning,
I see.
but there's no way this thing lasts more than another year because it's
Oh
original.
wow. Okay.
It's original to the house and it has all kinds of problems, right?
Okay.
Um, so we requested that they replace that, right?
Not okay. Solid.
Or give a credit. They refused, right? So
Okay.
my realtor and their realtor had a conversation and they came to an agreement on some very minor stuff.
Okay.
Um, but I did call a number of HVAC places and one actually came out and
Good.
inspected it and they said it would cost around 10K to replace
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
So basically I'm buying it and it now appraises for 535 on Zillow as well. So now I'm just buying
Okay.
it at appraisal value,
Yeah.
essentially. So
Yeah.
I initially yesterday I was stressing on it until I looked up at Zillow again to see what it was appraised for, according to Zillow. And I know they're usually low, right?
Uh yeah. Yes, that's accurate.
So
Yeah, a little low generally.
not a lot, but a little, right? A few thousand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when it said 535, I was like, okay, I guess that's reasonable then. So I haven't told my realtor yet. He just texted me literally, and he's asking, "Hey, can we get on the phone? Because we're supposed to give them our answer, I think,
Right.
by tomorrow morning, tomorrow at
What
noon
do you
or
want to
something."
do?
Well, I guess I'm probably going to accept it. It rents for higher than I thought.
Oh,
Um, about
okay.
$300 a month higher than I thought,
Okay.
and it's in like really almost the perfect location.
Oh, okay.
All the schools get a 9, and it's very
Okay.
close to like the hip mall,
Okay.
similar to Irvine Spectrum.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
So
Check. Okay.
you can walk to it from your house, right?
Okay.
Um, the highway runs between the mall and this house.
Okay.
So it's in a perfect location. It's on a cul-de-sac. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move forward with it. I'm still not 100% sure on it. So my question to you both, because you both also own real estate, and I don't even know what we get for red state in terms of tax breaks. What do you expect your tax write-offs to be?
Should I hit stop record? Because
No,
I
legit.
pay all my taxes and
Yeah, exactly. So,
I try to, so I mean, uh I should pay almost nothing in taxes on the gain.
well, what if you take a loss, right? How much does that help you with the other taxes?
Oh, I see okay. Well, let me I so the rental income, there's enough expenses and stuff that you're doing in the property to where it should be almost zero. Especially when you first now as you pay down the loan and rents go up, that's a slightly different story. Jessica or a, CPA would be best to
To
answer
ask.
that because it depends. That unfortunately that's the answer. It depends on your situation. I have seen, and I can't remember if you have to say you're a real estate professional and how to qualify for that. I definitely qualify for that. I think there might be a chance that you guys can qualify for that in that you're a real estate professional. And I believe in the past, if you can qualify for a real estate professional, then the the losses in real estate can offset your gains in your other income in what you guys are doing. I'm a realtor. I'm not a CPA. Please check with super qualified CPA on that. I
So
think
it's
if you're not a real estate professional, I think it's a percentage.
okay. That's
I
what I was just
believe.
going to reiterate what you said because I wasn't sure I
Okay.
understood that. So, if you're not a professional, so a real estate agent or
You could
uh,
say you own rental properties. So I would
uh,
try to push that at
yeah,
well, real estate agent is one form as a real estate professional. You are a real estate
sure.
investor.
yeah, I'm
Own a
like
So
few
I
own a few rental properties. So,
exactly commercial. You do uh, you now manage. We are self-managing the property over there. So
mhm.
I mean, I don't shush it away super quickly because there is a legitimate way that you could be
yeah.
qualified as a professional.
You want
Let
me to
Jessica
ask
tell you that though.
ChatGPT to write a fluff piece for you on how to
Yeah.
Well,
get
you and
you
I are
as
both
a?
going to lose on our most recent real estate
Oh yeah, I
acquisition.
didn't. I filed an extension, so I'm gonna tell her. Thanks to Joey, check out what we're gonna do.
Hey.
I'm a professional real estate investor, and I need to be treated as such. Damn it!
See,
Yeah.
Give me my,
look at that
give me
YouTube
my
audience.
losses.
Look at that YouTube audience. Even Dan's gaining some knowledge here.
Yeah,
There we
there we
go.
go. Like,
Yes,
subscribe, comment, share.
that just saved me. Thank you so much. That just saved me 10 grand off my
But
taxes.
oh, actually,
So,
no, Dan, that's probably gonna save you 50.
All right, I'm down.
I mean,
is
seriously.
it just like your own personal residence? You can write off all of those, right? Your mortgage interest, the depreciation. You can write all of that off, right, as a investment property. Plus, you can write off losses, right?
Uh, so y- yes, so when we're doing the numbers for the property we own in the same state together,
Mm-hmm.
um, we can't deduct the principal payment, but the interest, taxes, any repairs, any loss of rent, and so generally we're either at zero. The first year we had a loss because we had closing costs. We put in what 15, 20 grand into.
Repairs.
Again, this is, in my perspective, this is one of the major reasons to keep buying, because
Sure.
in the first couple years you have the most like depreciation or the most expenses to where it carries to what when you're making money on this side, right? But yes, it is similar. So each property is kind of like classified by itself. Jessica has been doing that for us in the property that all three of us own together. But yeah, I mean, as long as the law hasn't changed, I think that if you can qualify for a real estate professional in in one of the many forms that you can, it is highly advantageous for you to do that. And I think you guys are right on that line. I think that you guys,
Oh, yeah. No,
probably,
I'm glad I didn't file my. I just
yeah,
did an extension, so it's on my to-do
good.
list. I'm gonna put it on here too.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't miss out because I didn't buy any new properties in 24, but I did in 25,
perfect.
so I'll have to keep this in mind.
Please,
This?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then because I believe it's just it's just like on the thing, like, are you a real estate professional? I think it's a yes or no.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
so
it's like let the IRS, if they have an issue with it, come, let's
yeah,
talk about the rents and let's talk
yeah,
about the Airbnb and let's talk what else, what do you need to
right.
know?
Yeah, I
And
own
there's a
commercial properties. I mean, I self-manage. You self-manage the commercial property. I
something
mean,
on
I
this bill that's
all of
coming
this
up. Everyone hates it. Well, a lot of people hate it. Like a
The
lot
big
of
the
people
big
that
beautiful
care
bill.
about the future of America hate it.
big, beautiful.
So there's a couple of things in there. One, Chris, is you can 100% write off like capital expenditure. So like
Mm,
let's say our business now wants to buy an MRI. I would hold off until this bill goes through because you could write off all of that in 1 year, all your CapEx
versus over a
spending.
long time. Yeah.
Yep, and the same will apply to real estate. You will be
Mm.
able to write off a lot more on your investment properties now.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
Biden shrunk it. It
yeah,
used to be like 100% when
uh-huh.
you do the accelerated depreciation, and I think he brought it to like 40% or
Yes,
30%.
yes.
So that
So a lot of the
people are
stuff
thinking
in
it's
this
going to go back to
bill,
100. Yeah,
right? There's a lot of bad in this bill, but there's good stuff sprinkled in there too.
No, there's a
for
lot of
sure.
stuff. I agree. There's a lot of good stuff. Like I like the suppressors part. That's hidden in there, I guess. Um, you're aware of that, right, Joey? Most
No,
people aren't.
no,
So the right this time pulled a leftist kind of ploy
smart, good.
tactic and put some right political leaning stuff in there. So one of the things they put in there is it's going to make all suppressors legal.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay, that's amazing.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good,
So you can get all
good.
the suppressors you want if this bill goes through.
So
God
basically,
damn it. That's
get them
all we
while you
needed.
can. Yeah,
That's all our
Well,
country
it'll be
needs.
man.
nice. You could go to a shooting range and you don't have to wear ear
Right,
protection.
Sure.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
Well, it's
bread
much.
lines. There's bread
Yeah.
lines in the street, but fuck it, go to the shooting range.
There's
Who likes
red
wearing
line.
headphones or headsets
Dude, is it
or
true that egg prices went down? So, okay, that's it. Maybe we can talk
That
about
was
after
bird
real estate.
flu. The reason those went up was because of bird flu
yeah,
contamination.
yeah.
Oh, is
Had
that
nothing to
right?
do with either president.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
there was
Because
literally
the
hundreds of millions of chickens put to death because of
Listen,
it.
I'm
ah,
convinced. Robert talked about this on our text thread this morning. You can pick any side of at any point and
got
support
it.
it with some kind of
Yeah,
data from somewhere.
I didn't realize that because the rights are saying that, oh, it's because of the tariffs and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And got it.
Well,
Okay.
so I completely agree with that, but you have to be mindful of that. When President Trump was elected, the left kept saying eggs are not coming down.
Oh,
Right.
so now they're
So
saying, hey, look at this. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
as I would too. I mean, I just brought that up.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but Chris,
But I knew all along this was bullshit because
yeah,
all these chickens were put to death. It
yeah,
wasn't Biden's fault they went up, and it wasn't Trump's fault they stayed
No,
up.
it's like a legit
yeah,
bird flu going
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
And it wasn't affecting people, but it was affecting the birds.
yep.
right,
And they didn't want to fuck around and find out and let these sick birds lay eggs and feed them to us. And God
right,
knows what
right.
would have happened.
And we get bird flu.
Well, I'm
Exactly.
surprised the prices came down this quick because if you said 100 million birds,
Yeah, it
man,
was
how
like
long does it
more than
take
that, I think.
to breed the dang bird? Like, I'm surprised they could cycle back so
Yeah,
quickly.
they're like
But
rabbits.
Yeah, and
yeah,
they could clone them now too.
nice. Yeah. Okay, so Chris, you're are you going to live in this house one day that you're buying, or is this strictly investment?
Wait,
So
Chris,
the
you're buying an investment property? What a
wait,
dumbass.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So to
Just
answer your
kidding.
question, that was one of
This
the
is too good.
that was one of the qualifiers, a house that we were willing to live in if
Mm,
needed.
If push come to shove, it's
okay,
smart.
good.
It's actually
Yeah,
smart. In
Okay,
all
so
seriousness, it's
530,
smart.
and
five
you have
thirty,
to.
530, 525 was the eventually the agreed upon price. Sorry, I skipped part of that.
Oh, it was. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so they accepted 530, and then I thought about it and was like, you know what? I'm going to be up there. I'd like to take a look at the property, and I don't want to have a 5%, I forget what the term's called, but 5%, or excuse me, 5,001% of
The commission is what you're saying?
not commission. I
Oh,
can't think of the term. Where if you back out of the deal, they get to
oh,
keep the
earnest
money.
money.
Earnest
Yes,
money. Thank you.
yes.
So I initially agreed to the 5,000. I said, yeah, I'd rather do two, right? And I said, why don't you offer them this? That was I didn't agree to the 530. I said offer them this, and I gave them three options: either get lower it to 525, which is what I originally asked for, right? Yeah, my original offer, or lower the earnest money to 2K and I'll give you five. Or and there was something else, a third option, but they said no, we'll lower it to 525. So I was like, okay. So I was like,
Nice.
I'm okay losing 2K. I'm not okay losing
Right,
5K. If I
right,
Why?
see the
What's the
right.
house,
difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
it's
If I can just interject here.
150% more.
Chris, why are you buying a house there to begin with?
Why?
Yeah,
Seriously?
let's go big picture.
Sure.
And then we'll
So,
see if 3 grand is worth it.
well, so it was in
Well,
case
he
I did
won. Yeah, he
when
won. Yeah.
when I
Sure,
saw
but
the
if you
house,
lost, what are you gonna do?
if I saw the house and didn't like it, I was okay losing 2K. I'm not okay looking at
Oh,
the house and
because you're
losing
saying by
five.
the time you got there, the
I'm not
earnest
going to
money
get
would
there
have
until
gone up.
14.
That's different.
Ah,
Okay, never mind.
okay,
That's
okay,
fine. That's understandable. I thought
Right.
you're
okay.
nickel and diming off of the
No, no,
price.
I was just trying to get the earnest money down
I
because I
got you.
haven't
Yeah,
seen the house.
yeah. No, I got you,
Well, how
dude.
is this a
Yeah.
podcast topic? No one's gonna watch this shit.
No,
Wait.
no, I asked.
What?
You just got some advice that
That
you were
part,
You
unaware
yeah.
of.
just got something.
The rest is like Chris's little admin stuff. Like, what do we learn from that?
So
Uh,
you're buying it? You're
yes.
leaning towards buying it.
Well,
Okay.
I
Will you
haven't
cash
told.
flow?
I no, it'll be negative.
By how much?
Yeah.
Couple hundred a month.
Hey,
Okay,
welcome to
yeah,
the
that's fine.
real estate
Yeah.
investors club.
So, I mean, they say you're not supposed to invest in this way, right? But I'm banking on the future in terms of it'll be 5 years, it'll be positive cash flow, and
And
I'm
that's
okay.
where
I'm
when
Oh
okay
they
losing
yeah.
200 a month.
when they say that,
Oh
it's
yeah,
incorrect
Chris.
because that's
Yeah,
advice. That's advice for people with limited incomes, and
for
yours is
sure.
not. I mean, it's okay for some people to lose every month than
Sure.
others.
But I that's why I was asking about the tax write-offs because I
Yeah,
Yeah.
think
you'll make
I'll even get that
you'll
back
make
probably in
No,
taxes.
that
you'll
was
make
worth the
that up.
pot itself. Like I
Yeah.
already put that in
You'll
my tick for Jessica. Yeah,
no,
ticktick.com.
Chris,
Well, Dan, you just went bipolar. You were just talking about nobody's watching this shit, and this,
Yeah.
and now
No,
it's
but I
too. This is
still
where.
stand by what I said. Your admin stuff, I don't know who's interested in that, but maybe.
But no,
Joey
Chris.
asked. That's who's
Yeah,
Oh,
interested.
Chris,
okay.
you'll
But
make
Joey's a
up.
realtor.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He knows how to
Um,
ask these things. It's called
yeah, I
leading
do.
you on.
Ah,
Let's get this
You'll
guy
make.
more invested. Talk more. Isn't that what Keller
Yeah.
Williams
Oh,
tells him?
that's awesome. There
Just
we
get
go.
them talking. Fuck it. Have them talk. The more emotionally
But you'll
invested
you'll
they are, the
you'll make
better.
up for that. Yeah, and you got the tenant paying down your loan. You
yep.
have potential appreciation. You have the tax benefits. It's a safe investment, real estate, So slowly over time, rent's going to go up. So I would rather put. Are you putting 25% or 20% down?
35.
35. Okay, put 35% down. Yeah,
This
dude.
boy ain't
No
doing no Duffy.
PMI.
He's balancing his budget.
Well, that's I'm like I said, I'm comfortable losing 200 a month, and that's what I had to put down to get there.
Yeah,
Hey
right,
man,
right.
35%.
I
respect.
know you're doing the right thing. Yeah, I would and soon I will be doing, hopefully later this year I'll be losing a little bit too and being just okay with that.
Yeah.
But
Losing
okay,
But
for losing for a while sucks though.
this would be
yeah.
advice. This would be advice to those who can't afford to lose money or or just in general, I think right now the better investment in the short term would be something other than real estate. Long term, it's real
Yeah,
If
estate
you
though.
have if
I
you
think
have
you're
an
right.
income where you're barely making ends meet, you are not should not be thinking
Yeah,
about being an investor. You should be thinking about increasing your income.
I
Oh,
agree.
And a
that's
lot
Yeah,
for,
of
for
people
sure
look at
true.
investments
For
as,
sure.
but a lot of people look at investments as a way to make money, when in reality, the odds are you're going to be losing money for a while before
for
you
the
make
fr
it.
at the beginning. Yeah.
And stocks and Bitcoin, no matter what you pick, you probably timed it wrong and it's going to go down. And the
Well,
market's usually has the upper hand.
I don't know if I agree that last part, but that's the way you should look at it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if
Well, especially
Yeah.
unsophisticated investors,
You
they
should
sure.
typically make
plan
the wrong
right.
direction.
No, you're right, because unsophisticated low income earners that are barely making it, either they watched one
Or
video,
even middle income.
uh, and they see, oh, buy,
Yeah.
GameStop,
Yeah.
and then it's like they bought it after it went, but and
How
then,
many
they
people
just
bought
lost
that
a
Trump coin because they
right.
thought they're
Hey,
being
hey.
patriotic?
I don't know. I
They
know
thought they're
one.
being
I know
patriotic.
one at
Hey,
least.
I
that's a
bought
bad
it.
example. That's a
No,
bad
I
That's what
bought
I'm
example.
it.
saying. One at
No,
least.
it's a perfect example, Joe. You and I bought it. We have
Oh,
enough
two. I
income.
know two.
We have enough income to where it doesn't matter.
Yes,
I kind of
correct. It's just
expected to lose it.
annoying. Yeah,
Yeah, when I
yeah,
bought it, I was like, there's a 20% chance this goes parabolic, but an 80% chance I lose it all. But before I
yeah.
lose it all, I'd rather just lose half. And so
Yes.
that's what I did. I got out when
Yeah.
it went halfway down, and that's it.
Yeah, but if you have individuals that are putting like money that they're like paying like they can't afford to
Exactly.
lose, dude, it's stupid. Don't do that,
Exactly.
And I think, yeah, if you only have a couple grand, dude, go like, yeah, I mean, I would say spend it on especially if you're young and you don't really have too much like not sales, but too many skills. You're just starting out your career. Find someone you really like, and they likely have a course or have some sort of education, or buy books and further your knowledge,
Yeah.
because just you don't have enough money to really invest into, to really get, you need to focus more on learning about stocks, index fund, mutual funds. And that's what I
Yeah.
did before I
Pick
started.
a sector, like go very
Exactly.
deep on biotech or go very deep
Yeah.
on AI or pick
Yeah.
something. You can't be a
Yep.
generalist that when it comes
Yeah.
to stocks. Just pick
Yeah.
something, go deep on it, no more than almost anyone else, and then you'll be able to find the lopsided deals.
Yeah. Well, and even, I mean, there's enough books. Like, I remember before I knew really anything about stocks, 401ks, like, all of this stuff. Like, I had a couple of people say, "Hey, just learn about index funds." And I read several books about index funds, and now it clicks. I'm like, oh, okay, like it's a group of companies that has an extremely low fee, almost zero. And I'm like, well, like, yeah, like the S&P 500. That's an index fund of roughly the top 500 companies, and the first 10 companies are like Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, like all Facebook. That's weighted. 25% of the S&P 500 is weighted in
Yeah,
those, top
but
10,
ain't
and just like
nobody
learning.
getting rich overnight. I
No,
saw a TikTok today.
no.
It said the top five. This was on my algorithm on TikTok. The top five richest people in Scottsdale, Arizona, right now. And the first richest is a $4 billion, the guy who founded
Whoa.
GoDaddy. But the
Oh,
second guy
really?
was $3 billion, some 67-year-old, and he bought Berkshire Hathaway since it was 300 bucks a share, and he
And
just kept buying it
no
over
way.
and over repeatedly. That's the only stock he bought, and now he's worth three something billion, but he's
Dang.
like
40
70.
years
So
later. Yeah.
that wasn't get rich quick. I mean, he probably got
No.
very wealthy after a decade or two, but
Right.
His kids will appreciate it.
Oh, for
right,
sure.
but there's people looking like, how do
Right,
Right.
I
right.
succeed
Tomorrow.
right now?
How,
And
I want to,
how am I rich tomorrow?
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's funny. I actually, real quick on that, I went to so Ryan Pineda, Dan, you for sure know, he's a real estate guy in Vegas.
Yeah,
And
I've
and
seen.
and, and actually he had a real estate investing course, and it was in person. And actually I went to it when I actually Dan, I think I might have told you about it.
Hmm.
I just went out there one day, and I think I invested $500 for the ticket, and da, da, da. I actually got a lot of stuff out of it. But yeah, a couple of the questions. There was one guy. He was probably 20, and he would he was talking about, oh, I want to, I want to make $1 billion. $1 billion. He's 20. And Ryan was like, okay, well, like, do you have any like real estate now? Like, no, doesn't have any real estate, hasn't even bought his first thing, hasn't been making any offers on properties. And he's like, he's only trying to get to 1 billion and just trying to, and like Ryan's like, dude, you gotta like, and he's like, he didn't even say like, how much money do you have to your name? And it was like 5 grand. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of the young youth are like that. That's like, they think, oh, billion, 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 because they're scrolling through that every day. And it's like, bro, you gotta just focus on just like making money, increasing your income, increasing your skills. I mean, Dan, you were just saying that, instead of just trying to go for the moon and the stars and, get yourself right,
Yeah.
educate yourself and
But
then
that's
go
not
after
fun.
it.
Like
No,
people don't like that, you know.
no, it's
And
takes
even
too
your
long.
reading taste will evolve. Well, they
Yeah,
might evolve. Like mine when I
yeah,
was in my
right.
20s and 30s, Rich Dad Poor Dad changed my life, Crush It changed
Me
my life.
too.
But it
Yeah, it
was
did.
really all about me, like how to do this, how to, and then
Right.
lately it's been more philosophy, like just fixing your mental frameworks. It's
Yeah.
not really anything specific. And I don't know, maybe 10 years from now I'll be into something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's a
Um,
lot of ways to do it. But yeah, broke people can't be investing.
no,
And
yes, best way to put it.
bottom line, and these days, sadly, middle class are barely getting by. So,
They're not. You're right.
I mean, there's a reason the own nothing and be happy
Right.
narrative is correct because it's really only going to be top five, top 10% that own most of the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the rate we're going, I would say at best 2 generations won't be able to buy a house, almost from any
We're almost
background.
there now. I mean,
Yeah.
geez,
Yeah.
I mean, so many like family is helping. I mean, at boots on the ground. Like, I mean, I see, so much, especially for the average person, families helping. And then the
Mhm.
the top 10%, it's like they have a really good job.
But two
But that
generations from now, like we'll be gone. But do you guys, I can see a world where, and I'm glad I won't be living here, but I could see a world where it doesn't matter where you live because you're living in VR constantly. So you're just, I mean, all your interactions are there, all your dopamine hits are there, all your life is there. Like it's in your mind. I mean, your body's just a collection of molecules. It's not really what's experiencing things. It's your mind. So I see a world 2 generation. If we talk that long, where real estate doesn't really matter. I do see it.
Yeah, it could be like Ready Player One. You're living in
Yeah. I mean,
squalor and don't care.
I'm glad I won't be here for that, but maybe other people will be like, how the hell did they ever live
Or
in
Surrogate.
the real world?
I keep telling you, see this movie, Surrogate.
mm,
I might have seen it, man. Just Dora never tells me the names of the movies.
Bruce Willis.
I think I've seen it.
she
Okay.
just says, sit down and watch this.
Yeah, she's like, I put this on. Are you done yet? And then when I get there, she hits play. And of course, I'm not done, so I come in like 10 minutes in.
Well,
Nice.
there's a good reason Dora does that. You told me because I asked you why she does that.
There's many reasons why she does that, but
Well, the one reason that's at least you told me at the time that makes sense is Dan will Google
oh
what the
yeah,
movie's about and what's
Oh,
the
I see.
ending and
yeah.
all this other stuff. So he just knows everything about the movie before they even watch it.
I
Get
know
it,
both
dude.
sides of the story, the pros and cons,
Right.
the
So
philosophical
if
undertones.
I were Dora, I wouldn't tell him either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Well,
So do you all think realtors are going to get extinct?
yeah, that was a long intro to the question.
Hey, I told you,
It's all
Full Metal
good.
Jacket. Full Metal
Right.
Jacket.
Yeah, back to Full Metal Jacket, whatever the fuck that means.
You know what it means.
I know what it means, but Joey doesn't. So,
Well, he does now. We explained it.
okay, you give your hot take first,
Thanks.
because my hot take's not that hot, and I don't think Joey even will disagree with me.
He's talking to
Or-
you, right?
no, no, he's
Yeah,
talking to you, Chris.
you give your take on that
Yeah,
first, because
yeah.
will realtors be
Do,
extinct
will realtors be
10
like in
years
the
No,
from
next?
now?
Yeah.
no, no.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
no, because of course, AI potentially will replace everything, but the one thing it won't replace is human interaction, not in my opinion. Now, once they design robots that can act like humans and you
mm,
can't tell the difference, which
Yeah.
I think will come
dang.
eventually, then
Wow.
Optimus, yeah.
then it's dead, right? But we're a long ways off from that, I
No,
think.
even then it's not dead.
I think it will be. If you can't distinguish the difference between a robot and a human, why? Are you going to ask them, "Hey, are you human?"
So what does a realtor actually do? Um, that's
Today?
valuable. Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Like they
good.
show homes, a robot
Yeah,
will do
show.
that too.
Yeah, yeah.
They give
Yeah,
you
but
good advice. The AI will probably give you better.
mm,
And I don't think realtors are going extinct, but I do think you're gonna have way less realtors, and you're gonna have you particularly, like the realtors still around, will probably have anywhere from 10 to 100x the volume that you
mm,
currently have, and commissions are going way down.
I could
Way,
see
way,
that.
way, way, way
They're
down.
already going down, but yeah,
But the experience is gonna be let the machines walk the client through all the basics. You're handling the 5% of the tasks that require some intuition and some creativity and like giving them the keys or letting them know, hey, this is what they said on the counter offer. Although I think that's going to be robots too. But the
interesting.
agent will be controlling these tools and the clients will have a better experience, number one. The agents, the ones who are around, are going to do way better than they're currently doing. And it's going to be a volumes game. So each realtor is going to be more like a tech company, like a one-person
Hmm.
tech company than
Hmm.
what your current job is.
See, I don't think I agree with it. I just think people at their gut level want to deal with a human.
So you want to have a realtor drive you around all day and hold you
No,
hostage?
no, no, that's not what I mean. But
That
what
that
it,
really doesn't happen that much today.
no, what I mean is just having a conversation about the property and what's the other party thinking and what do you think we should do here. Now, I agree. I think AI would probably be able to direct a person better. I just think people
I
in
think sadly
general,
you can trust, unless you know the realtor. Like I
Hmm.
know Joey.
Hmm.
I don't think I would prefer a machine over Joey.
Thanks.
No, I don't think I would. Like for the little stuff that you don't want to do
There
either,
might
for
be
sure.
right. Yeah, there
For
might be
sure.
things that yeah, yeah.
But when it comes to the macro, like Joe, you think this is actually a good place to invest or
Exactly. Right. Well, I think that first of all, I appreciate your guys' perspectives. And Chris, yeah, you surprised me on that. Um, and I mean, I tend to think that like technology has only made my life so much easier in how I do my job, you know. And so I think that AI and robots and whatnot, I think that they're just going to enhance the experience, make it easier for me. I am seeing commissions going down. I wouldn't be
oh yeah, they're
surprised if they
gonna
go
go
down a
way
little bit
down.
more. But I think the reason why I would also I think agree with you too, and maybe a little bit closer to Chris, is that I don't think realtors aren't, or excuse me, robots and the finesse and the like like I don't,
manner,
yeah, like
the relatability as well.
the relatability, but even so, like more importantly, like Dan, what you just said, Joey, is this a good house to buy? Yes or no? Or Joey, would I be stupid to make this investment?
Right.
Like, I don't, it might be a very long time or maybe not, where I don't know if a robot can do that.
I think
And
the
See,
look,
well,
robot
we've,
will
that's
give you
that
the good like the textbook answer, but the human answer will still
yes,
come from a
the,
human.
yes,
exactly, and I think
yes.
that's what I agree with. I
There's a
think the
lot of
robot will give
irrational
you a. I think
reasons.
the robot will give you a better answer,
Yeah.
but I think the human will
Mm,
relate more to another
I
human
see.
and be more comfortable with
There's
that.
still a lot of, especially in real
Exactly.
estate, there's a lot of irrational
Yep.
reasons why someone would still want to do something.
Yep.
And
Yes,
then a
you're right.
human can help placate them. Like, yeah,
Yep.
It actually might be even between two different properties. Like, I mean,
yeah,
there has been times where, to me, like the textbook answer is this property, but my client chose that one.
yeah.
Well, it's like, I'm not going to tell them, no, you can't even like, so that could
Hey,
be
you're being dumb.
right. Exactly. You won't do that. Like a
Yep.
robot. Well, and it's like we've all dealt with somebody who is extremely black and white and rigid and talks like a robot, right? And I tend to think those qualities aren't the best in sales. I I think that uh, now there are there are ways that those are good. Like it's like, hey, can you tell me all information about the school district of this property? Bam. I want like black and white on that. You know, and then I might have a couple opinions about okay this one versus the Foothill Ranch one, and you know, um, but I think in a super high ticket sales where for most of my clients this is the largest transaction financially that they're doing, I think a professional realtor who knows what they're doing would I think they're going to be around longer than maybe people think. I potentially AI would be better, or potentially no realtor would be better if you had a shitty realtor in front of you that maybe had a part-time job doing this and this and this and this and this and this. I mean, I'm working with a lady right now, part-time at Macy's, and has her license. And it's like, and she's kind of fumbling for her. You're better off not using a realtor in that situation. You know, but for the people that are professional, know what they're doing, can, get a good deal for their client, can help guide them through that. I think that that type of realtor is going to be around for, longer than people think. And Dan, that's an interesting perspective that like 10x, 50x more
Oh yeah,
because
and
all the
people won't
other,
want to be realtors.
yeah,
People won't
because
want to be
right now,
realtors.
dude, 10, like it's like 5% of us do like 90% of the business straight up. Like
Yeah.
like literally straight up. 5% of realtors do like 90 some. So I actually, since you said that, I think you're right. Yeah, just like all the other bullshitters are going to
And
get
I for
out.
sure, like as a buyer, I would, as a buyer, you could make the case more for a human. As a seller, there's almost
Hmm.
no reason. This part might piss you off. When AI gets good enough to need a human, other than having open houses or whatever, all this stuff. But
Well,
the selling side's easier to replace than the buyer side.
I just think realtors are gone once it's indistinguishable from a human, right? Because they will never be wrong. The AI.
Yeah.
Humans will always occasionally be wrong, regardless of how good you are.
Yeah, but on the selling side, how many times do you meet? I mean, have you sold? I've
Yeah,
sold
No,
but
no,
I
almost.
I don't disagree with that. I think, yeah, it's easier to replace selling side. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying though is
I don't know. I
once it's
actually might disagree with that. I think it
once
might be easier to replace the buying side.
once it's indistinguishable, right? Then you're out of a job, Joey, but you'll be long gone.
Or
No,
maybe
I think
not. I
even
mean,
when it's indistinguishable, you'll need to.
I don't think it'll be indistinguishable in 80 years. I just and
That's a long. If you
I
go 80 years ago, man, we were
sure,
not
well, I
even had
guess maybe.
electricity in all parts of the
I
United
just think
States.
we're a long ways off from it being a robot being totally human, right?
yeah.
Feels,
We're like,
looks,
well,
acts,
totally human's
personality.
different, but agentic AI is different, and this is what we're talking about here.
No,
Being
I'm
an
talking
agentic AI.
cannot tell a difference, right?
Right, no, but being agentic AI. Like you're not gonna kick it with your realtor and have beers and talk about whatever. Like they're not your friend, they're just your realtor, they're your agent.
Hmm.
So if agentic AI can do what they do, they don't need to be fully human.
Well, define because I'm not familiar with the term agentic. Define.
Yeah, me
Agentic's
either.
doing all the tasks that an agent will do.
No, see, I'd still think real estate agents will be preferred. I think once you can't distinguish it from a human, in other words, it has a personality like a human, it laughs, it gets
Mm.
your jokes. It's a human unless you pull back the skin, right? As far as you know. So once it gets there, yeah, there's no more need for real estate
I don't
agents.
know, but I
Or
think the seller
anybody.
side's easy.
Yeah,
The
or anyone, or anyone.
realtors commission come from the selling side.
Lawyers,
Yeah, they're all gone.
dentists.
They're all gone.
Interesting.
And I think we're
Yeah,
80 years from that.
Hmm.
I think there's going to be regulations in place to slowly diffuse, slowly introduce this job displacement. And by the time it's introduced, there's enough off ramps for these people to have other careers.
Oh
Because you can't
yeah.
just,
I believe in capitalism. You
This is
know,
where we
yeah.
all disagree, or at least I disagree with both of you. I think there comes a time when you'll have to have uh I can't think of the term, but where
UBI,
the
universal basic
UBI,
income.
there you go, where you'll have to have UBI. It's just
Yeah.
there's no other way.
Yeah, I guess I'm skeptical if it could actually do that. Have all the
But now
same
we're getting well off a
mannerisms. Yeah,
topic.
okay, that's true. Okay, so honing it, but as far as like what do realtor tasks do? Yeah, Dan, that's a good question. Um, I mean, I can say like what I do, like showing homes is like a very low priority thing that like, half the time
Right.
clients go to open houses and then just
Or
tell me what I wrote 5 offers over this weekend and I didn't show any homes this weekend, but
or
they went to this weekend. And so for I guess for me it's like the expertise in how to write an offer, how to get an offer accepted, how to build rapport with the other agent. I'm focused on buyers here. um, Knowing how to comp a property. Now that's not rocket science. AI could do that. But there is finesse with if you're really good at what you do. And I would say like I'm pretty good at getting an offer accepted. Because I mean, especially from 2020 to 2022. I mean, you know, houses would have like 30, 40 offers on them.
Yeah. But
And so just like how to write that, just a
see,
little bit of
I don't think any
expertise.
of that matters personally. I mean, yes, you want your agent to be competent.
It does
You
right
want your agent to
now.
be competent.
If you want to get an offer
I
accepted,
understand
it
that.
does
You
actually
want your
matter.
agent to be competent. But when I
Yes,
very
yes.
first went to Idaho, I talked to probably 20 different agents. Didn't like the first 19 of them. Like, I don't want to work with you. I don't like you.
Good for
Right.
you. Yeah, good.
And really what it boiled down to was A, do I like you? Now B, do I think you're competent?
Right. Yeah.
That's what
No,
it boils down to,
I'm
in
the
my
same way.
opinion.
I need to like you too. I will not do business with you if I don't like you. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm the same way. But I also, if I like you, I need to make sure you're competent
Hmm.
too. Especially when again, this isn't filing your taxes here. This is buying a 6, 7, 8 million, $3 million property. Like,
Hmm.
you need to be competent in that. And just, so I
Right.
do,
But you would agree, likability is number one. Now competent, right? Number two.
not everybody works that way, but yes, for me, I need to like you first, and then I'm willing to hear you out and
Yep.
discover if you are competent. But just like I guess just because you have your license doesn't mean you know everything that you're doing. And yes, did a lot of this come from experience and time on task? Yes, like just like you guys. If you guys were look at all like everything that you have done in the past. If you had to erase that and start brand new as a brand new person versus Dan, you had to move to a new area and then start a new set. Bam, like your effectability is through the roof, right? So you're really good at what you're doing. You're highly skilled. Well, I think the same thing. It's like if you are highly skilled, yeah, like with getting an offer accepted, with closing the deal, like, clients use a realtor not just to open a door. There is a couple other things around there that yeah, around that realtors do. But I think that like the opening door, I mean, even like realtors today, like there is a period of time, and I'll do this again, where I had another realtor do that for me. I wasn't even doing that. I was like hiring that out. So but yeah, interesting.
I mean,
I gotta, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
yeah, no, I think it's easier to replace the sell side agent. I think it's more automated. I think the negotiating stuff, the finesse, will be gone. If it's AI to AI negotiating, they will find the best agreed upon solution, and the human owners can decide if they're okay with that or not.
I,
Um,
But who's gonna like
wait, I
who's
agree
gonna
with this.
counsel them?
Well, I
you don't need
agree
to
with,
counsel them. The
I agree.
AIs will come to an agreement and probably give them three different options of what's fair based on all the algorithms that they have on past transactions and comparables and
And also why it's easier to replace the seller side is because with the buyer side, as you already mentioned, Joey, it's the biggest purchase that person will ever make, right?
Yeah.
Most likely. So they need a lot of hand holding. They need a lot
Yeah.
of you're making a good choice here. And guidance in terms of, can I afford this? Yeah, you can have AI tell you all of this stuff, but it's more you need that kind of hands-on bedside manner kind of touch. You don't need that from the seller side. I agree with Dan on that
Well, it's
side of
different
it.
on the seller side because I actually think it's more important to have a person on the seller side. I mean, I think they're very, very close. Truly, I do. But I tend to, because it's like with the selling side, there's more creativeness. There's marketing. What am I marketing as a buyer? Like nothing. There's marketing. There is the pricing strategy. There is negotiating with all the different offers that come in. Um, there is, um, yeah, working with all the other vendors. I just like, because all the other vendors would have to be like AI, like, and then just consulting the seller on what is fair. Because like AI can see what has happened, but can they interpret like what's happening now? Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, they'll
Maybe
have trends. They'll have the latest data, the latest trends, the latest variables of what's fair and what's not. That's all gonna happen.
how are they going to know? Like for me, like I talk to a bunch of realtors every single day, and like we have like some sort of like camaraderie and like hey like our listing sitting a little bit. We just we
You
have a
won't need
little
it.
bit more
You
like
won't need it.
yeah, but how is AI going to get that? Is what I'm saying.
They don't need the camaraderie. They have data
No,
and they
not the
can,
camaraderie. How are they? Um,
how can they come to an agreement? It's they're programmed to do so. They're just
well, not
programmed
to
to,
an agreement, but how, I guess like uh, I feel like AI won't know something until it's documented.
yeah, I think it's a slow
That's what
process
I'm saying.
until it becomes fully automated, but I do think that it's a slow trickling out of realtors. And there at the end will be a
I
few
do agree
left.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do agree
but
that it's like
they're
and it
using the
really should
AI,
trickle out.
and all the brokers are gonna want it, and pretty soon the real estate boards are gonna want
Yeah,
the
I
agents
use
to
it
use AI.
now. I
Yeah,
want it.
there's probably
Yeah.
all kinds of AI tools specifically for realtors.
Oh yeah. I mean, I use it like 4 or 5 different times today,
Yeah,
so I want it.
and you buy stuff like it's not like ChatGPT. You're talking about like specific realtor vendors, right? For AI services, or you're just using
Well, I'm using
regular.
ChatGPT. Yeah. That's now
I
I'm
think
sure
it
like
will come like out of the box, specifically tailored for realtors.
okay.
AI that you pay like $50 a month for or something, and it
Yeah,
will.
I would. Yeah, for the transactional stuff, it's almost like, like right now we have like virtual assistants.
Hmm.
Like for sure, I'm all for like transactional, like consistent different things. I'm 100% for that, because it's gonna make my life just like if you look at like DocuSign, like I know I keep bringing that up, but like that has saved my industry so
Yeah,
many hours, not only for realtors, but the consumer too. So like how I see like AI is helping me in the everyday, bullshit stuff
Tasks.
that I don't, yeah, it has, but it's like I do think it's going to be a very long time before people are like seeing options from AI about what do I do in this situation and I think it's going to be after my lifetime. That would be I'm
no,
old school on that, but
I don't think so. I think it's coming quickly. I think if where it happens quickly is industry. Industry has every reason to invest
once
in
people are doing their
efficiency.
taxes, once AI is doing taxes,
That's coming
then
up.
and I would be for that. But do you see how like all the little different things with taxes,
Sure, I think the rich people that want to use AI
people
as a front,
file their taxes online for to save $200, $300 instead of hiring a professional, and
Can I
they spend all that time. And the first year I was married, we did it online. It was a bitch, and we
yeah.
we had one property.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
property, both W-2 at the time. It was a bitch, man. I mean, that sucked. So people are struggling to do that to save 200 bucks over $200 fee. Now you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and all the complexity outside of taxes and in just that purchase and stuff and the ramifications and stuff. I don't know. I think it's going to be a minute before I think it's going to be after my lifetime before like
Has
Nah, I
no
think that
ha,
realtors
shit's
here.
ha,
quick.
has the change in law affected you in any way, Joey? The the buyer and the seller are both responsible for the commission of their agent. Has that affected you in any way?
No, no, it's been a year and still the seller's paying the commission
Okay.
every single time. All of my transactions, every
Well,
single time.
because I was thinking potentially, it's funny how things have a way of
Right.
working out that could have been an attempt to lower the income of real estate agents. Um,
For sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
for a number of different reasons, right? But if it's having no effect, then if sellers are still in agreement, we're going to pay the commission,
They are
then yeah,
every single
that
time.
that ploy hasn't
There's
worked.
the not yet, not yet. But there's chances that it couldn't, in the future, but no, I mean, I'm still able to get my normal fee without a problem. I think the ones that make it into the news are the exception, because it's very rare that a seller says, no, I'm not. There was one property where I show a lot of property, but there was one property I was showing, and right before I showed, and I'm thankful the agent had said, hey, by the way, this seller will not pay your commission. It was a nice heads up. So that was one out of like 500 in the last year that now we never luckily my fortunately my client did not like that house, but especially now as more inventory is coming on the market, and it is, buyers have more options. And so buyers, if I think if they see that and come, they'll just go find another house and say, screw you. And that house sat on the market, so over 2.5%. I mean, and then you sell for 5% less because you don't want to spend 2%. Like that math adds up.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that was one of my questions for my agent when we made
oh,
the
what did he say?
when we made
Yeah, how did he?
just when we made the offer on this house. I said, "Am I responsible for your 3% or are they?" And he said, "No,
Yeah,
they are." I was like, "Good, because
my
otherwise I
man.
wouldn't agree to this."
And that's exactly right, Chris. No, no, nor would any other buyer, and that would kill all the sellers. You have
Hmm.
no buyers for your damn houses. So that's exactly why sellers are still paying because they're like,
Yeah.
well, this is, uh, they know when they bought the house, the seller paid that commission. And it's like, well, if I don't pay it, I'm going to lose 85, 90% of my buying pool.
Or I got to ask a much lower price to make up
Yeah.
that
So it's like,
difference.
which is why not just like that's
Right.
stupid. Like if you did like that's just so why are you doing it that way? But I do think a problem is commissions are going down. I mean, my fees are going down. The benefit is that home prices are going up, so I do have that benefit. But it is a little concern of mine that commissions are going down. You know,
What do you mean by commissions are going down? They're offering
like
less
the
percentage.
percentage.
Is it
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when I first started, you could get easily 2.5%. So
uh,
this was 11 years ago.
as
Easy
the
2.5 to 3.
as the buyer agent?
Yes, yeah. So I'll just say
Yeah.
a stick on buying side. 2.5 to 3, easy.
The seller
But doesn't
controls the percentages,
right.
more or
But
less.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
doesn't the cost of the home dictate those percentages to a degree?
Not really, dude. Which
Really?
is really funny.
So
Correct.
I would think if I were selling a $20 million home, it would most certainly dictate.
No, those are still in the 2% each side,
Yeah, but some of those
Hmm.
buyers
which
know
is
that, or those
absolutely
sellers.
crazy.
Some of those sellers know that because when we used to go door knocking with Joey, like we would go to Laguna Beach and knock on like the
I still
mansions
remember
up
that.
there.
Yeah,
And
on the beach.
those dudes are smarter, right? They're like, no, we're not doing 6%. This home is worth, 7 million. We're gonna do 4%. Or a lot of them want to do like side pocket deal. Like, do you have a pocket listing? And we'll give you like 2%. So there's a lot of like negotiating in that regard. I think AI gets rid of all that shit, man.
See, I think if I were a seller of an
Hmm.
expensive property like that, I think I would have a combination. Hey, I'll give you 1% regardless of the sale.
Yeah, Chris is
And
an asshole.
and no, and
You ain't knocking on his
I would
door.
say if you get this price or higher,
You ain't knocking on this
if you
door.
get this price or
I
higher,
like
if
that,
you get this
Chris.
price or higher, I'll give you 25% of
Yeah,
that.
and that's not new.
Yeah.
They do that. They do that
Sure.
at those price
That's how
points.
I
But
would do it.
but I will say, so it's economies of scale. Like, still like the $300,000 house and the $3 million house, like it's actually more or less similar all around. Then the commissions are in half once you get to 20 million. Or like they're the high end guys are still getting their relatively normal fee. Now there are some unique ways to pay. Chris brought up one. Another route would be just saying, hey, like, the seller, hey, I need to put 15 million in my pocket. You can have whatever's
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
Yeah.
after that. We call that a net listing, NET. So it's like there's many ways to do. Actually, one of my buddies did do that on like $1 million property and actually made 100 grand
Wow.
on it. So I'm like, damn, maybe I should like do this one then. But anyways, but today I'm seeing commission on average be between 2 to 2.5%. Sometimes in the other communities where there's other cultures, I'll leave it at that. It's a little bit,
Wow, you're gonna get canceled.
or we all know what we're talking about here, huh?
Well, actually, I don't. Can you expand on that?
China.
Hey, you said it, man. They do a lot of pocket deal. There's a
Um,
lot of cheapskates out there.
a little bit low, but so we're around 2.5% around there. On the selling side, I can, between 2.5 to, again, there's other situations with, past clients, friends, family, but if you're a seller off the street, I like normally get like 2.5% right now.
Mhm.
Um, and occasionally I'll get 3%, but like right now it's about 2.5 on the listing side. So
But
commission,
I
yes,
would assume most of your homes are they're asking over 1 million, right?
yes, yep,
So that makes sense for the 2.5, I think.
yeah.
3% if it's a $500,000 home, right?
Yes, because you're right. Because in Texas, when we bought Texas, a lot of them were in the threes. So,
Yeah.
so, so I think in other base markets like Idaho, and because I'm only talking about like Southern California here. So,
Right.
uh,
Or properties are worth a lot more.
yes, that is right. But yeah, Texas, they were getting 3%. Like when she got 3%.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
got 3% of the even the properties that the 8 units that I bought. So, and as they, as they should, because they're, the price it's in half.
Hmm.
Anyways, but that makes sense. Okay, so I should be good for another couple years.
And
I would say much longer than that
no,
personally, but
I don't think much
I
more.
think well, wait.
Well,
I'm
Joey's
saying
gonna
from
be good
the
regardless, but
wait, from the AI side, you're good. I don't know. I can't speak from other sides, from
you
other
just gotta learn
angles,
how to use these as
right? Like
tools. Most are not gonna want to
economy.
do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
most are
see.
not gonna want to do. Most are not gonna want to be like learning all these new tools. There's gonna be a steep learning curve for realtors because it's gonna
Yeah.
shift from knowing the market to knowing how to use these tools. That the AI is going to
Okay.
know the market better than you will ever know the market.
Hmm.
And so you're just going to basically be like a project manager, but you'll
Is
make
there
it up for it in
any,
volume.
okay, is there any AI tools right now that if you were a realtor that you would use besides ChatGPT? Or besides,
I
I
mean, I
have the
can't
free version.
imagine they're not catering to realtors already, like some of these startups.
I
If they
see.
haven't, they will. I know in research they already do. There's a lot of tools like Tilda
Okay.
AI is trying to help coordinators. And the talk is not to replace, it's to make each employee more
Yeah,
efficient. But I
better.
think
Yeah.
that pushes prices down because tech is a deflationary force. Like tech pushes prices down because right now
Right.
prices are
Yes,
high
you're right.
because human labor requires specialized knowledge. That's what keeps prices up. You have to pay the human labor for that specialized knowledge, and it takes effort to get that specialized knowledge. Once AI gets it, That goes down. So you don't need to pay a human for that anymore. So you just make it up for it in volume.
Yeah, is there? Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry
Yeah.
about that. I've messed up something. Um,
So I mean, what Dan's saying is absolutely
yeah.
possible. Me personally, I don't think that's the biggest concern, though. Me
Mm,
personally, I think the bigger concern is the dreading where prices just don't come down, so the average buyer can't buy. You're only going to have investors buying, and maybe large ones like BlackRock, Blackstone, and they're just going to have generalized agents they work with. They're not coming to individual agents in the marketplace of that
yeah,
particular home.
yeah,
So I think that might eliminate a lot of agents personally. So long
yeah.
as the average buyer can't buy and it's
Right.
large
No, you're
investors,
right.
I think that's a bigger concern in terms of your
Yeah,
question for this pod for the
yeah.
second half of Full Metal Jacket.
So you're saying the buyer
Um,
market's going to be gone.
yeah, and the seller market because they're going to own all the homes and not sell them.
Yeah, but that's a
Right.
narrative
So
that,
everybody
okay,
rents
yes, but that's a narrative that,
You said it at the beginning, own nothing and like it.
and be
right,
happy.
but it's a
Yeah,
narrative at the end of the day. Like how it plays out, there's plenty of market to keep agents busy
currently,
still.
sure,
And in the
sure.
future, when there's 90% less agents, there's still going to be a
If
comparable
there's not a
market.
how if there's not a substantial housing crisis in terms of crash like GFC, I just don't think if it just continues as it's going, it's 10 years, then 80% of people can't buy a home. My opinion.
Yeah, but you're not accounting for the top 10% that will keep buying more. They just make up
That's
for it.
that sure, and that's my point.
Like
You
us.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
guess we
And
want to
what
be
do those
top
people
10,
want?
but
Those people don't want to
got
be
it.
friends with Joey. They want an
Mm.
efficient system that can get the deals done.
Potentially, I suppose that's true.
They don't need their hand held. Like, let me see the baseboards. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't.
They want a
I don't
fucking
know.
decision. They want deals, man. And I know you can provide the deals, but you can't compete with AI on. You're gonna be using
But
these tools, don't worry.
yes. Yeah, but no, so you are right that BlackRock does want a very efficient system to where they can buy at mass and bulk. That's very true.
Yeah.
I still like with the complexity of buying like a couple hundred million in assets, like different properties, different apartment buildings, or different single family home. Like, it's probably like a conglomerate of all of the, it's like a mutual fund, if you will. They like to buy like different sectors in one big purchase. I think AI in my lifetime, this is what I'm betting my career on. AI will do a very good job at helping you identify some numbers, some stats on the different areas and communities and what the market value is. I mean, Zillow isn't the best. This is what I will say. Zillow is not the best at giving you a value of your home. It's not. And so
But
it's
it's good
like,
enough.
Yeah, it's within 10%,
no.
I would say, isn't it?
Zillow is good enough.
Sometimes
Listen, Joey, here's
Zillow,
the truth. Zillow's good enough to not have to, like, I know
if
you.
you're only buying your home based on what Zillow says, you are a novice. BlackRock does not do that. Straight up, like checkmate. Like Zestimate is really good if you're just sitting back, cracking a beer, curious what your a general range is. But I would
True.
not be buying or selling a home based on Chris has to go pee.
Yeah.
I
Take it
would
easy,
not be.
Chris.
Yeah, I know exactly. Calm it down. Less Diet
I
Coke.
actually think his realtor called him.
I think you're right. But I would not be buying or selling a home based on what
I
Zillow
don't know.
says.
Here's what, like,
Zill-
I know you already.
Zillow's not accurate. I know
I
that
know you for a decade and a half. So if I need a realtor, I already know who I'm talking to. But most people, especially like first-time home buyers or people that want to sell, they don't want to be spammed
for
by
sure.
realtors.
For sure.
And they have their numbers shared on every list. So every
For sure.
broker, everyone's calling them. They'd
And
rather go to Zillow.
it's gonna get worse with Zillow and with AI. I mean, to me, you just 10x'd your spam shit.
Sure. But you can go on Zillow without logging in just to see.
Yes.
just to like snoop around, right?
Yeah, but people don't transact.
Yeah, just to like
There's
get
a
a
need.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a need,
there's still a
but
need.
Zillow is light years like they're so far off of Zillow has made my life easier in many ways. So I'm not I don't hate Zillow. I just their estimate is not an accurate, tool. BlackRock and they don't give a fuck what Zillow says about what a property is worth. They have no they pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to analyze deals and to run the numbers and to all of that. They give a shit less
Yeah.
what Zillow has to say. But since Zillow is so far off, to me, like technology is still a long ways away from actually like predicting the market, telling you what something is worth, and actually like not just giving you an opinion, but to where somebody says and clicks a button that says sell. That's like it's going to be a pretty damn long time.
I don't think
Again,
it's
I'm a
that
realtor,
long,
I'm
man.
biased.
Yeah, I don't think it's that long. I think with more data and training these things to be agentic,
Yeah, but
I
Zillow's
think
been doing this for
yeah, but
20
Zillow's not
years.
Zillow's gonna use AI too, but I don't think it'll be Zillow.
Oh,
I
okay.
just think it'll be there will be like a winner take most tool. It might actually be the board of realtors that does this. Like just
I guess I'm just lumping in technology and AI all
yeah,
together.
yeah,
And
it's all the same.
like Zillow has been trying to do that for 20 years.
And Redfin,
And they're, Redfin's still losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. They're
are they?
still highly unprofitable.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so yeah, actually, yeah, let me know what was last year in 2024. Tell me.
Redfin's PE, oh yeah, they lose money.
Is it
Yeah.
over 100?
No, Redfin is $9 a share, but their PE ratio is negative. It's non-existent. So they're
Yeah,
not
but it should
profitable.
tell you how much they're losing.
Yeah, but I'm not going into those forums
Oh,
and stuff.
okay. Um, But all I guess that's why I'm saying, wow, dude, technology is still a crazy far off as to when technology like you're pressing sell or you're pressing buy on the computer and you buy that house. It's going to be out of after our lifetime. They still can't get this estimate right.
Where's the bottlenecks
In
in the
what?
buying and selling process? Like, where's the bottlenecks?
Again, I wanted to get your guys' opinion because I mean I could be dead wrong and in 5 years I could I
No, but
could be
where's the
effed.
bottlenecks? Like, okay, listing agreement signed, you have a buyer, they make an offer. Where's the bottlenecks?
Well, there's no, I wouldn't say there's not really, there's just a process of like the
Then that's
transaction.
easily
There,
automated.
yeah, and there, I mean, there are forms of automation, and I think it could, within each vendor and sector, a lot is automated. There is still a lot of people involved in the transaction. Like for
Right.
example, there's
Like the
probably like,
inspectors.
yeah, there's probably like 20, 25 different
Right.
people,
So your
and
role will
that's
become a
too
project
many.
manager. Your role will become a project manager.
Well,
The-
to be honest, I already am doing
Yeah.
that,
Well,
you
it's
know.
just going to be full-time
Um,
PM, and most people are not going to be attracted to that profession anymore
I
because it'll
I
be
would
winner take
love
most.
I would love if AI could, because right now we have the lender, we have
Yeah.
escrow, title, insurance, realtor, home inspector, appraiser.
Hmm.
There, I mean, blah, 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 blah. And then like escrow has like a huge staff. Title has there's too many, there's too many people involved.
Yeah, but which of
And
those
I'd love for
processes?
AI, I love for AI, that's what I'm saying. I'd love for AI to like lower that to where like escrow, title, the lender, home insurance, all that could just be just like one thing,
But which of
you
those
know?
processes are mindless, like basically brainless? And then which part require back and forth negotiations?
So insurance is basically mindless. And unfortunately, everything else, that's why there's so many still people
Okay.
involved. There's escrow, there's still the escrow is probably a little bit more transactional, but there's still like I was on the phone with my escrow officer 3 times today because we have a special that doesn't happen every single time,
Hmm.
but they do a lot of minute. and ongoing tasks that I think instead of escrow having a staff of 5 or 6, it could just be him. Kind of like what you were saying, Dan. That would be great if there's less people involved. There's just so many gosh dang people involved that it slows down the transaction. Like I think the lending side, actually lending could be um lending could be almost fully automated because it takes a while to go back and forth between the underwriter, the loan
Sure, the
processor.
lending side, yeah, I've already done it through Rocket Mortgage twice now on
Yeah.
some refis, and it was all automated. And you had your transaction specialist who you can tell was dealing with like hundreds of clients call you for like some of the more nuanced things, like, hey, is there any way you can show more income and like stuff like that, like the
Yes.
exceptions. But that was really, and the part where they don't want to have it documented that they're telling me to bullshit.
Right.
Um, so for that, you'll need a human. For everything else, which is 90% of the
For
tasks,
sure. Or
and
maybe
you'll be using,
95.
sure,
Yeah.
and you'll be using these tools, right? But your rates
Yeah.
are going to go down, but your
Yes.
volume's going to go up,
Yeah.
and your competition will go down because I don't think most people
I'm all
want to
for
mess
that.
with. People are attracted to real estate. Oh, it's easy. I just show people
Right,
homes,
right,
and
right,
I make 6%, and I just got to have good relationships with people. And
right,
then they end up being horrible realtors.
right. Well, we're notorious to where people get their license in the first 6 months, they get right back out. It's like
Correct.
a door
Correct.
that just zoom,
But why are they,
and
why are so many flocking to it? It's because they perceive it as easy money. And
yes, they do.
when those transaction costs go down, they won't be flocking. It'll be considered
Well,
like a
they,
kind of a niche thing or like maybe a outdated
yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah, and maybe in times it is, kind of like car salesman. It's like I don't know if I have to have a car salesman.
Oh
Te
yeah,
you
I think
know,
car salesmen are there to pressure you.
Yeah, I don't like
They're
them.
not really there to
That's
smooth the
why I'm getting
transaction.
close to buying a Tesla, because I'm like, dude, I'm just sick of even at the Honda, these guys are lying through their teeth to me at Honda dealership. So much for the Honda helpful people. But I would like AI to be way more involved in real estate because I think it's going to make everything quicker, faster, like getting why take the loan process. That's probably where if I was someone, and maybe I need to think about this, if I was going to try to make something more efficient, it's the effing loan process. That's the damn thing that takes the longest. It causes so many issues. There's so many people. Oh, the underwriter now needs this. Da, 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 da. Oh, they verify the employee. Like, there's so many different things. Like, if I was going to create or invest into AI to help like make, Rocket Mortgage from 50,000 people to like 5,000, dude, that's where I need to be. I need to think about this. Dang. I just now I'm learning
Yeah.
something.
Look, everything changes. Nothing stays the same. If you want to talk about where realtors are going to be 10 years from now, I think or even five, I think it's an easier conversation than 80 years from now. Because if you look back 80 years ago, we didn't even have electricity in a lot of parts of America. Like people were using kerosene lamps, and there was not even ovens or refrigerators in a lot of homes. So look how far we've come since then. So to
Yeah.
look 80 years from now is ridiculous. But to look 10 years from now, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see another real estate boom and a bunch of people like gold rush into it. But I think on the agent side, eventually the AI is going to take over and there's going to be a few left who know how to utilize the tools to their advantage. Just like every other revolution in technology. And I know Chris thinks this is different, that the AI is going to eat us, or what Elon said.
Make sure it has a plug, right?
Yeah, make sure it has an off button. But I'm not I'm not that dystopian. I mean, yes, it's a possibility. I think it's on the low end of the realm of possibilities that AI
Yeah.
just takes over
Why?
the world.
Why do you think that?
I just think there's enough regulations in place
So
to
you trust
where,
government?
I mean,
Chris, go.
in a
There
way
we
you kind
go.
of in a way you kind of have to.
See, I'm quite the opposite. I don't trust the government for anything, and that's
Damn,
why I think
damn
that.
straight.
Well,
And
you
that's why I
trust you
think it's
trust
that's why I think it's way more a possibility. I'm not
you.
optimistic about the government in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I'm not optimistic about them, but they do
Well,
serve the purpose.
but you
But
are if you think this can't become dystopian. If you create something that can think for
okay,
itself,
dystopian where the government can use it as a tool to control its citizens, sure. Dystopian in the sense that the revolution happens like Terminator,
I
not so
think
much.
either is possible personally.
That's fine. I mean, I think regulation's gonna come in and put the handcuffs on these things. I don't think we want to do that yet. I think we're pretty far. Well, we're neck and neck with China. I think if we're on pace to be behind China. And then China's gonna have the dystopian control for the whole world.
Or any other small country.
Nah, it's a two-man race, really.
At the
That's
current
that's sexist.
yes it is. At the current time
It's a two he them race.
until this is perfected and then it's to everybody for everyone, unless there's some sort of top secret sauce to this, right? Um,
Yeah, those kind of things are not happening. The rate limiting steps are the energy. So, and
until
that's
it's
nuclear.
yeah, until it's perfected. But yeah, if it's nuclear, then that's a problem for other smaller countries, that's for sure.
Yeah. And their battle for the rare earths are already
Sure.
been playing themselves out. It's basically a two-person race. So it's either do you want to live in the United States framework of what an AI ruled world will be or China?
Well, I certainly would prefer the United States.
There you go.
China.
So then you trust the government. You
I
trust the United
no,
States.
I have a
I
preference.
wouldn't
Doesn't
get in
mean I
trouble
There
trust
you
saying
them.
go.
that in my
There you go.
office.
Yeah, I don't trust the United States at all. I just trusted it more, a lesser of two evils. How about that?
Sure. Then the role of government is really one thing, and it's to keep its citizens safe. So
Yeah,
that's AI's part of it.
yeah. United States is not doing that very well. I mean,
Well, then you can go,
Killed a bunch of citizens intentionally.
it's citizen safe.
Yeah, and Obama killed a lot of United States citizens intentionally.
Sure. So then go move to China, where they do that too.
They kill even more.
Right. So then
I'm
stay
just
here.
saying, you lesser of two evils.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. But the government's role is supposed to be keep its citizens safe from
Yeah,
harm.
and under that guise, that's how they control you too.
Right.
Unfortunately,
That
Yeah. Stay at
unfortunately
home
is true.
saves lives.
The alternative is to have a move
Get
back
vaccinated
to
10 times.
yeah, get vaccine time is to move towards nation states,
You guys
sovereign
got to follow the
nation states.
science. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Maha. Maha movement.
Maha. Well, this was good, guys. Yeah, you
It's
give me a
just
lot to
agentic work, man. I mean,
you give me a
every
lot to
industry
think
is
about.
disrupted. Our industry is going to be disrupted, some more so than others, but
So if you were me, you would be looking at so besides Chat GPT,
I'd be looking at
looking
controlling
at
these tools. Look
okay,
at where the inefficiencies are and have the
I
AI
see.
fix it.
Okay.
Look at yeah, like if the process doesn't have bottlenecks, maybe your process has bottlenecks somewhere.
Hmm.
Fix that. I know my clinic has bottlenecks all kinds of
Hmm.
places. We're trying to fix it.
Okay.
Every business has bottlenecks. Our DSCS one does. I mean, every business has bottlenecks.
Yeah, for
But these
sure.
tools are supposed to help you fix those
Help.
bottlenecks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you worry about who controls the world later. That's not our pay scale anyways.
It might be one day.
I don't know. I don't think I want that responsibility. I'd rather just take care of mine and what's around me.
Good point.
Chris is silent, so he's thinking about something.
no, I'm
I
just
I
listening.
think it's
He's actually
AI.
thinking China's not that bad, maybe. I actually
Well,
think it's
He's
not. Like,
like,
there's a
you know
lot of
what?
people that go
I
there.
could learn Chinese.
There's a lot
well,
of people that go there. I
They
mean,
actually speak English there too.
well.
yeah, we're of
There's
course they
pros
speak English.
there's pros and cons to all cultures.
Yeah.
But you guys obviously believe in American exceptionalism.
Not as much as I used to.
Well, I
That's
think
not an
America's
answer,
the
though.
best in the world.
I don't think that either anymore.
Well, yeah, you do because you still live here.
No, I choose not to move.
Yes.
Doesn't mean I agree with
No.
that statement.
Here we
Well, here we
go. I
go.
waited an hour
Podcast
for
number two. Yeah.
Joey and Chris to get into it.
Yeah, no, no. You still you think it's the best. That's why you're here.
No, I think
You've
I
never thought about moving out of country. You've only thought about moving out of
no,
state.
that's not true. I've actually
Checkmate.
investigated. I've actually investigated a lot about moving to another country.
No.
Can you give
Yes,
us
I
the
have.
breakdown, the analysis?
So there's a lot of obviously different aspects you have to consider. And for me specifically, because of medical conditions, so it's really not feasible for me. But if I were healthy, it might be Thailand.
Yeah, but why are they far superior than America?
They're not in the sense of what you, well, tell me what you mean by superior.
Like, why are they a better country to live than
Uh,
America? That's what I'm saying. So
Quality
So
of
you've
life.
already
so
proven to me they have shitty
so
healthcare.
so so Thailand, it's much less costly to live there.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
many countries are like that.
yeah, but they're not as nice as
Mexico,
Thailand. They're not as nice as Thailand in terms of
what about the opportunity,
capabilities. So,
freedom?
so in terms of if you're thinking in outside of economics, there would be like four countries I would consider.
Oh, well, no, it's everything. It's healthcare.
I'm speaking
It's
specifically for myself, Joey.
oh,
Thailand
okay, okay.
would be one I would consider if I were in a little better health.
Well, it first started, America is the best country in the world, and then you said no. So
Yeah,
that's I'm trying.
sure, and I don't think it is in
Oh,
terms of
and
individual.
that's why I said name
What?
somewhere
Okay, so
better
I
that you
love
want
it.
to
what if
live.
any country that has higher
I'm
individual
Hey,
not
you
saying
got some
Thailand.
you got some
I'm not
popcorn?
saying
it,
I'm
it,
not
it,
saying Thailand isn't nice. I'm
any
just
country.
saying would I want to be there and be with my family and have a business there and live there long term? No, I'd visit there
Well,
or stay there a month or
if
two.
things kept getting totalitarian here, you might consider it. I would
Yeah,
consider
So
yes,
Mexico. I'm on the record
you
to
would.
consider Mexico and Romania. Mexico City's got some nice ass spots. And then we're not even talking beach yet. If you want to talk beach, there's a lot of nice
So
ass
but you
spots.
would straight up raise your family in Mexico?
I'd prefer not to still, but
Okay.
I would in a heartbeat
Wow.
if things changed here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or Romania.
Really, you would go to Romania?
I'd go
How
to
is
Mexico
their?
first. It's closer
I
to
see.
our culture than
Yeah.
as far as Americans than
Right.
Romania. But actually, Romania and Mexico are closer to each other than either is to the U.S. But I think Mexico is closer to U.S. culture wise than Romania.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
so to answer your question, I guess what made America great was freedom.
Yes.
Right? It's well down that list now.
Opportunity. Freedom,
Freedom,
opportunity.
freedom, and opportunity, absolutely. So opportunity, it's still high, not as high as some other countries,
People are still coming here.
but freedom is much lower now. It's like the
Yes.
23rd in the freedom index. Like
Is El Salvador number one?
Switzerland's number one.
Oh,
Really? It
Hmm.
is. Oh, wow. Okay.
Excuse me, Sweden's number one.
Okay. Oh,
I just
Sweden.
Googled it. I just Googled it.
Okay.
Sweden's almost 100% free.
hmm.
United States is considered 83% free.
Did you
Interesting.
see the
Okay.
Italian
Yeah,
president? I love
but
her.
who has the most opportunity? Can you Google that?
It's
I'm
still
actually
here.
curious. Yeah, I would think so, but I'm actually curious what my girl
Opportunity just
chat
means access.
GPT says.
What does opportunity mean? Access to capital and access to multiply your
Can
efforts.
anybody, if they choose to, have the opportunity to have the American dream? That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. And I would say that's number one.
And I would
Well,
say,
it's
yeah,
literally American dream in there, but just if you
right.
take out American and put the dream, it's still number one here.
I think so too.
So number one, Switzerland. Number two is the United States.
So
As
why is
far as what?
interesting?
So what I Googled was what country has the most individual opportunity of success?
You should Gemini it.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, it's
Well,
AI.
okay.
I assume that it's on Google. It's AI.
Oh,
I
okay,
Oh,
then
look
assume
at
that's
that's
that.
Gemini.
Gemini.
That's Gemini.
Guys, we should move. F this. Gosh.
Nah, I'm not moving there, man.
And you're allowed. It has. They have. I think
Multiple
it's re.
wives?
No, I think it's required in Switzerland that you own a gun. It's you can't even
No.
like get out of it. Yeah.
If you don't like it, they
They
shoot you.
shoot you or you
Yeah,
take the gun.
yeah, pretty
Like the
much.
mafia.
Right.
That is awesome. Okay, well, I have to look at Sweden. Sheesh. Um, but I mean, yeah, to me, I mean, yeah, now why does Sweden have people? Is their population growing? Because ours is significant. If you look at the last like 50 years, 100 years, our population is freaking through the roof.
Hmm.
Because
No, I don't.
now I'm not saying that is a only dip, but I'm like, well, our America for some reason has the demand, not freaking Mexico.
Sure. I mean,
We just vacation
Mexico's
there.
got plenty of problems, but
so there could be many reasons to that, Joey. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many highly qualified individuals are still moving to America. I know some are, but what the people that are moving here are people that are low skill, and
Uh,
for the
not
that's
from
most,
not true.
China.
well, I
Not
think
from
it's
China,
true.
bro. China and
And
France
India,
and India, it's the upper middle class, if not one percenters.
right. It's
Now,
both. It's
now the people
everyone
who you're
immigrating
saying,
here.
you are right. But I would, dude, I would say that the ones that are coming legally, it's actually no, it's I mean, dude, just come by my office anytime, you know. And they're buying cash. I think back in the day when people coming for on the boats, it's just like with $100 in their pocket. Yes, but I that to me that's not today. At least in Orange County, what I see, Orange County would not be the best
Sure.
picture of America.
No, I would agree with that. But I'm not saying that's not true. Obviously, I'm probably a little biased because I'm only going off what I see on TV.
For sure. Yeah.
Um,
And
and
that does happen. I don't, that does happen. And we do see that here. Yeah. Yeah. We do see that. But, but
You
we're
know where I
seeing
would
both
consider living?
factors.
I'd consider living in Italy. Have you guys seen that president? It's gangster.
No.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
the
show you a
lady,
2-minute speech.
the
Yeah.
lady,
I'm gonna show you a 2-minute speech with English subtitles on there,
she's very based.
giving it to the globalists, especially my
After this, though, I got to go.
Me too.
okay, here it goes. Were
Oh,
you guys
it's
able?
a
Let me know
female?
if you can. Yeah, but she's
Yeah,
awesome.
she's super based.
Let me know if
Guys,
you
I'm
can
I'm
hear it.
joking. Okay.
Can you hear?
No,
No. No say.
Oh, hold on. I didn't share sound.
Why the hell didn't you?
I don't know,
Gosh.
man. Zoom makes this like not intuitive.
So
Here we go.
I want to learn about the other thing that you guys use because it sounds like you guys don't use.
they would use him.
Oh, you do? Oh, you guys are
Hmm.
zooming? Okay.
Here we go.
Finiti
Oh, yeah.
promettevoli sono quelli che hanno bombardato la Libia perché gli dava fastidio che l'Italia avesse un rapporto privilegiato in campo energetico
Yeah, she's
con
getting
Gheddafi,
heated.
Yeah.
esponendoci al caos migrazione nel quale ci troviamo. Cinici
Narcos.
Emmanuel Macron sono i francesi che mandano la gendarmerie a rispedire indietro qualunque immigrato tenti di passare il confine a Ventimiglia. Ma soprattutto perché le cose vanno raccontate come si deve, vomitevole è chi... Buono, che lo vuoi... Ci hai mai tolto il pathos? Vomitevole è chi, come la Francia, continua a sfruttare l'Africa stampando moneta per 14 nazioni africane sulle quali applica il signoraggio, facendo lavorare bambini nelle miniere, estraendo materie prime come accade in Niger, dove la Francia estrae il 30% dell'uranio che gli serve a far camminare le centrali nucleari e il 90% dei nigerini vive senza elettricità. Non
Dude,
ci venire a fare
I'm about to
lezioni,
stand and start
Macron.
clapping.
Accettiamo lezioni. Chiaro?
Yeah, she said
Ciao.
the role of Europe is not to save the Africans by
Dang.
importing them all here. It's to stay the hell out of their areas and leave them alone.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Macron's virtue signaling, saying they're so nice for they accept all immigrants. And that's because they got the back door to go to 14 African nations, use child labor to get raw materials for their nuclear, which
And
they
sh
need for the AI.
And she's calling out Macron, so she's trying to start a World War III.
And she got pissed because Macron told her in public that she needs to learn how to treat immigrants better. And then at the end,
Dang.
she said, "And no, I will not accept lessons
Chop your
from
knees
him.
off.
Yeah, I will not accept lessons from this person."
Yeah.
Dang.
Who
That she's
married,
gangster.
who he's got some weird thing going with his wife.
Yeah, he's a grown ass man. Let him do what he wants.
He wasn't when they got together,
Wait,
Right.
wait, wait, wait.
supposedly.
Right.
For the podcast, what was the weird thing that they were doing?
I could be wrong, but if I recall, he was like not an adult or something when they hooked up, and she's like
Right.
Nice.
80 years old now, or
Ow!
some crazy thing.
Wow.
I don't know. It's weird.
That's weird.
So I'd move to I've been to Italy twice. I'd move there.
I like Italy. I don't know if I would live there.
I'd live there
I
instead
don't
of
think their
Romania,
market,
probably.
they're not, I don't think it's capitalist. I don't think
Oh no, it's
they have,
capitalist.
I don't think they're as
Well,
opportunistic.
no one is as the United States. No, it's just
But
access to
I would
capital.
beg the difference that it's half. Like it's severely low.
Well, you're talking about the opportunities and the access to capital. You're not talking about the government infrastructure being molded in a way to make that easier, because that you can argue Italy's better than the United States. With not with the current administration, but with the previous on that same
I w-
track, we would have been
I
worse.
would make a wild claim that it would take you over twice as long to make 1 million there than here.
Probably right.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
But
Like
where you got to look at the rate that's growing or shrinking in both places relative to each other. And we got
True.
Trump, so we're supposed to
I mean,
get.
I'm Italian. Don't like I love Italy. Like
Oh, you are?
yeah, I'm a fourth Italian.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
you
don't
knew what
mess with
she
me.
said? You understood
That's
what
what
she
I
said?
said. Yeah, she really meant I'm gonna chop off your knees.
I like that.
No, she
I
said
would
cut you at the knees.
listen. I'd vote for a woman if that was like her.
Yeah, no, that was, dude,
Easy,
I literally almost stood up and started crying.
easy. That lady did a traditional family speech when she got elected.
I'm gonna have
I
to look
mean,
at her some more.
yeah, no, she's amazing.
I like her, but I still don't know if I could vote for her. It
Yeah,
would
'cause
depend
you're
on what the
chauvinist.
options.
Ah,
You're chauvinist.
I have beliefs. This is true.
I have beliefs.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
Nobody
You
hurt
know,
me.
AI
I've
can
dealt
fix
with
that.
women my whole life, though.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
But the
that's
best
another pod.
experiences, it seems like.
Yeah,
No, I just think you're being illogical. Women are too emotional oftentimes.
we should stop right
I'll
there.
take that illogic. I'll take that one
No,
over.
I said if
Like, subscribe,
depending on
comment,
the
share.
options, depending on the options.
Joey's
I
gonna
def-
lose his license by the time this goes.
I, de- I
Gavin Newsom
definitely,
is calling me right now.
I definitely like her politics. So yeah,
Oh yeah, she's the best. Her, Millet, the guy, Bukele from
yeah, all three
That
of
is
them.
El
so
Salvador.
funny.
Who else is
Mhm.
good right now? Philippines. I'm
Trump's
sure there's
okay.
others. Yeah, Trump's
Trump's
all right.
okay.
Trump's like on the top
I like,
five.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Top 5 or 10, somewhere in
Top
there.
5 or 10. He's definitely not one.
No, I agree
He's
completely.
not even top 3. Millet, Bukele, and the Italian one, I'd take over him.
I just stopped my recording.
Well, I'm still rolling, man.
I know,
Who's
I
Chris
see
and
you. So
Dan?
that's cool. We both can record at the same time. That is so nice.
Yeah, we should have done that in the past.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then so is it now just on my desktop or where does it go?
Yeah, when Zoom ends, it will convert to a file, and then
I see.
mine goes to documents. You use a Mac as well, right? I could see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who uses
Yeah, what
on
moron
Apple?
uses it?
Exactly. Did they even eat? When I
Like,
see someone not using Apple, I'm like worried that they
yeah,
didn't eat. Did I
like are
send
you
a
on?
care package?
Yeah,
Oh, Chris,
seriously.
sorry, man.
Yo, hey, oh, Chris, hey, buddy.
Are you there?
It's okay.
Should I send a
It's-
care package?
Why don't you have an Apple? Your life would be so
Can
much
I send you my
simpler.
old one? Will you use it?
Ooh, nice.
All right, I'm going to go now.
All right, guys.
All right,
Like,
talk to you guys later.
subscribe, comment,
Comment, share.
share. Bye-bye.